He confused. He got a lot of people confused, though. But it's to their own destruction. If you listen to the prophets and the master, then you won't get confused, will you? We had Acts 18:1. Let's see what Paul, did he keep the Sabbath? Acts 18:1. Go ahead and read it.
After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth, and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy, with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them.
Go ahead.
And because he was of the same craft, he abode with them and wrought. For by their occupation they were tent makers.
Verse 4, what did it say?
And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath.
Ooh, and he reasoned in the synagogue, what? Every Sabbath. Now how can you get around this? Now you see they go and take 2 times that Paul now went and taught the people on the first day of the week. 2 times you see that in the Bible. But they totally ignore this right here where Paul went and taught every Sabbath. They totally ignore this. Now what you gonna do with this? You understand? He went into the synagogue every Sabbath. What did he do?
And persuaded the Jews and the Greeks.
Ooh, he was persuading the Jews and the Greeks. Now what you gonna do with this? See, people don't read this. They go to Sunday church, they don't read nothing like this. They tell you they New Testament Christians, and then they tell you, well, we Acts of the Apostles, that's what we follow. Well, what the apostles say right here? Right. He reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath, persuading the Jews and the Greeks. What you gonna do with that? You only see him going to teaching the people on the first day of the week twice. You totally ignore the fact that he went into the synagogue every Sabbath, persuading not only the Jews, but the Greeks too. But hold on 1 minute though. Hold on to your seat. Hold on. Let's go now. Let's go to Acts the 13th chapter. Acts 13. People talking about the Israelites. Now we're dealing with the first century Christians. This is around 60 something AD. And then you got Emperor Constantine in like 300 and something AD. So it's like 300-year difference right here we dealing with. This ain't that far, is it? We at Acts, the 13th chapter, and we're going to pick it up at verse 13. Acts 13 and 13. Go ahead and read it.
Now when Paul and his company loosed from Paphos, they came to Perga and Pamphylia, and John departing from there returned to Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
But when they departed from Perga, they came to Antioch in Pisidia, and went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and sat down.
Now what they doing there on the 7th day of the week? Why wasn't it the 3rd day of the week and they went into the synagogue and sat down? You understand what I'm saying? They went into the synagogue and sat down on the Sabbath day. Why don't nobody read this? Go ahead and read. You never hear them read this in those Constantine churches. You never hear them reading this. Go ahead and read.
15. And after the reading of the law and the prophets of the ruler of the synagogue sent unto them.
Now wait a minute now. They read the law and the prophets? Well, I know. Men say they New Testament Christians though. And their beloved Paul, what is he doing? Reading out of the law and the prophets. Go ahead and read. Don't nobody read this though. Go ahead.
At the top, 15. And after the reading of the law and the prophets, the rulers of the synagogue sent unto them, saying, Ye men and brethren, if ye have any word of exhortation for the people, say on.
Go ahead.
Then Paul stood up and beckoning with his hand, said, Men of Israel, and ye that fear God, give audience.
Now we won't stop right there. So let's skip down to verse 42. Skip down to verse 42. Go ahead and read it.
And when the Jews were gone out of the synagogue, the Gentiles besought that these words might be preached to them the next Sabbath.
Oh, wait a minute now. We got the Jews and the Gentiles. The Gentiles want to hear these words the next Sabbath. Remember now, This is the first century, some 300 years before Emperor Constantine. And the Gentiles besought that these words might be preached to them the next Sabbath. Look at this. The Gentiles now. And my old brother keep calling themselves Gentiles, darker than me. They Gentiles. You understand? But okay, you want to be a Gentile? Cool. But look at what the Gentiles did though. They wanted these words to be taught to them the next Sabbath day. Go ahead and read.
Now when the congregation was broken up, many of the Jews and religious proselytes followed Paul and Barnabas, who speaking to them, persuaded them to continue in the grace of God.
Go ahead.
And the next Sabbath day came almost the whole city together to hear the word of God.
Ooh, here come the Jews and the Gentiles hearing the word of God now.
All right.
Now what you gonna do with this? I mean, you know, you got some decision to make if you're a Sunday worshiper, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. You ain't keeping the Sabbath, and you say you're worshiping God. You better rethink this. You better rethink this. Let's go now. So now we see not only is Paul keeping the Sabbath after Jesus died, right? And the Jews still keeping the Sabbath. The first century Christians, they keeping the Sabbath. Now here come the Gentiles, they keeping the Sabbath. What you gonna do with this? What are you gonna do? Let's go to Ephesians 4th chapter. We got 3 more. Ephesians 4. Ephesians 4, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 24. Ephesians 4:24. Go ahead and read it.
And that ye put on the new man.
See, you got to put on the new man now. Now that you understand what day the Sabbath day is, now you got to put on this new man. You know, you was going to church on the first day of the week, or the second day, or the third day, or whatever day you was going, calling it the Sabbath day and worshiping God, all but the 7th day of the week you was going. So now, what you got to do, you got to put on this new man and keep the Sabbath day. Go ahead and read.
And that ye put on the new man,
I'm sorry, pick it up at verse 23. Go ahead.
And be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
Be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Don't let your mind tell you that the Sabbath is the first day of the week, or the second day, or the third day of the week no more. The Sabbath is the 7th day of the week. Go ahead and read.
And that ye put on the new man.
If you put on the new man, go ahead.
Which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness.
Ooh, which after God is created in what? In righteousness and true holiness. True holiness. And keeping the Sabbath, that's walking in righteousness and true holiness. Because the Lord said, look, this day is holy unto him, and is holy unto his servants. So now, you got to walk in, be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and walk in true righteousness and holiness, and start keeping the Sabbath. It ain't hard to do. It's not hard to do. Let's go now. Let's go to Hebrews, the 4th chapter. We got 2 more. Ephesians 4 and 2. Hebrews 4 and 2. Thank you, brother. Hebrews 4 and 2. Go ahead and read it. 3. Hebrews 4 and 3. Go ahead.
For we which have believed do enter into rest. As he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise.
Well, he spake in a certain place of the first day on this wise. Did he say that?
7.
He said he spoke in a certain place of the 7th day on this wise. Go ahead and read.
And God did rest the 7th day from all his works.
Go ahead.
And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest.
Go ahead.
Seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein.
Seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein. Go ahead.
And they to whom it was first preached enter not in because of unbelief.
See, if you don't believe the Sabbath day and keep the Sabbath day, you're not going to enter into the ultimate Sabbath day or the ultimate day of rest. Because that's what we're pressing for.
Right.
That's what we're pressing towards. Right. The ultimate Sabbath day. The day of rest. That 1,000-year millennium. Go ahead and read.
Verse 7. Again, he limited a certain day, saying in David, today after so long a time, as it is said, today if ye will hear his voice, harden not your hearts.
So if you hear his voice today, concerning the Sabbath day being the seventh day of the week and not the first day, don't harden your heart. Don't turn away from this. Go ahead and read.
For if Jesus hath given them rest.
Wait a minute now. Who ain't giving them rest?
Jesus.
You mean Jesus back in the Old Testament? That's right. If Jesus had given them rest. Go ahead and read.
Then would he not afterward have spoken of another day? There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God.
Therefore remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. And that's what we press it toward. That ultimate day of rest. That ultimate seventh day, Sabbath day. That 1,000-year millennium where it's going to be peace on earth. That's called the seventh day. The Sabbath day.
Hallelujah.
Let's go now. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 5th chapter. And we got one more. Deuteronomy 5 and 12. Deuteronomy 5 and 12.
We took that to 10.
What's that? Deuteronomy 5. Deuteronomy 5 and 12. Go ahead and read it. Deuteronomy 5 and 12. I hope everybody got some understanding today. This is a very serious day right here. You know, this is a day that God chose. Right. Not man, like Emperor Constantine chose the first day of the week or Sunday or Sun's day. Right. God chose this day. Deuteronomy 5 and 12. Go ahead and read it.
Keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it. As the Lord thy God hath commanded thee.
See, he commanded you to do this. This ain't no if, ands, and buts, or maybe. Right. He commanded you to do this if you want to be his servant. Go ahead and read.
6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thine ox, nor thine ass, nor any of thy cattle. Even the animals not supposed to work this day. Right. Go ahead and read. Nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Nor the stranger. If he want to be a part of the household of God, he's not supposed to work this day. What verse you at?
The end of 14.
Go ahead.
Nor thy stranger that is within thy gates, that thy manservant and thy maidservant may rest as well as thou.
Go ahead and read.
15. And remember that thou wast a servant in the land of Egypt, and that the Lord thy God brought thee out of thence through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore the Lord thy God commanded thee to keep the Sabbath day.
The Lord God commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. And he even want the oxen, the cattle, and everything. He want them to rest this day. And the stranger, he wants you to rest as likewise. Let's go now to the last scripture. Hebrews 13 and 8. Hebrews 13 and 8. Hebrews 13 and 8. Go ahead and read it.
Jesus Christ the same yesterday and today and forever.
Jesus Christ the same yesterday and today and forever. Who is the Lord of the Sabbath?
Christ.
You better be keeping the Sabbath day. Thank you.
All right.
And now we're going to have the reading of the announcements. Hey, you got no choice. Go ahead.
Grace and peace to our brothers and sisters here at the Israel's Church of the Living God. If this is your first visit, we hope you come back and worship with us again next Sabbath. There's no eating or drinking in the sanctuary with the exception of water, for water. Brothers and sisters, please adhere to the dress code of Israel's Church of the Living God. Brothers, please remove any head covering upon entering the building. Do not wear sleeveless shirts, fleece jogging pants, shorts, tight-fitting pants, or any other revealing attire. Sisters, you must have a head covering. This is required. Headscarf, etc. Do not wear short, scorched midriffs or see-through blouses. Many